not almost there. They're not almost there.
Hey guys, welcome to Massive Iron Live. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. We had a little new intro. It was a little too short. Welcome to Massive Iron Live. It is Friday, May 27th, Memorial Day weekend here in the States. And I appreciate you guys joining me. I got my new setup. Still working on things, right? I got a few things to move around, but we're getting there. We're trying to make improvements. And just let me know what you guys think of the new setup. If you like it, I got a bunch of secret things sitting there, like the Massive Iron coffee mug and the Massive Iron creatine. There's my baseball glove. If you see up there, the big BHUD number 13, and all my books, Muscle and Brawn Archives, Massive Iron, all kinds of good stuff. So I appreciate you guys joining me. Before we get into things, a couple of housekeeping things. If I don't see your questions, head over to Instagram app and the Barman app. And the Barman, post your questions up. Sometimes YouTube will not show your questions, and that is not me ignoring you. That is simply YouTube being YouTube. So if I don't see your question, either try rephrasing it, or you can head over to Instagram app and the Barman app and the Barman and post up your questions. I'll be on as long as you guys have questions. If I run out of questions, I'll leave. So every Friday, I'm here every Friday, 11 Eastern. Every Friday, lately, I have been doing a thing where if you post a question before 11 Eastern, before live starts, you get a chance to win a t-shirt or whatever. So this week it's a t-shirt or a team massive membership or massive bulking PDF or whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. We'll get you some free stuff. So I'm going to get into those just shortly. As always, this is sponsored. Massive Iron Live is sponsored by Purple Monsters. Not really, but close enough. So if you guys are new here, please post up a question. Don't be shy. There are no dumb questions. There are no stupid questions. There's just awkward questions, a little bit weird questions, some strange questions, and occasionally a question that triggers me. Now, before we dive in, Bromley. If you guys know Alex Bromley, I did a podcast with him yesterday, and some clips are going to be going up on his channel soon. So please check out his channel. And if you guys haven't followed me on Instagram, please do. You can follow my shenanigans and my awkward Twitter posts and all kinds of good stuff. So what are you guys doing? If those of you guys have the long weekend, you doing anything fun, going to see any movies, grilling out, let me know what you're doing. So let's dive in. Invisible. How's it going, Invisible? Thanks for joining. You are first today, and I believe that's your first time being first. So let me know what you guys think of the upgrade camera as well. If you think things, we got to work on things a little bit, because I'm not like a video wizard, but I think this is a big step up from where lives were previously. Key Commander, your thoughts on arm wrestling style exercises for forearm hypertrophy? No idea what arm wrestlers do. Not trying to be dismissive. I just really have no idea. And I stay in my lane, Key Commander. I stay in my lane. I'm just a power builder that likes them barbells and them dumbbells. We pick them up and we put them down, right? We pick them up and we put them down. And arm wrestling looks like a fine endeavor. But honestly, man, I don't know jack squazzucci about arm wrestling exercises. Forearm hypertrophy, there are some things you guys can do that are super easy. You can do the little wristy curlers and the reverse wristy curlers, and I've done all that happy horse shit before. Didn't really enjoy it. I like the wrist roller. You can get a wrist roller for $15-20 on Amazon. You can get a wrist roller, super cheap. You can keep it in your gym bag. So if your gym doesn't have one, you can just pop it in your gym bag along with the 22 other things I tell you to pop in your gym bag, and you can do the wrist rollers, and you can really, really hit the meat of the forearms with that bad boy. Rico, I know it's Friday. Look forward to Massive Iron Live. Appreciate you guys joining me. You can see all the sweat. Look, this camera, you can see all the grime and sweat on the hat and the inside of the hat, all the sweat rings. You get all that in HD, hopefully. Any big runs coming up? Cacapon, West Virginia. Third Saturday in July. Man, am I not ready for that? That's gonna be a that's gonna be a butt kicker. That's gonna be a whooping. On that day, I'm just gonna try to get in 20 miles. And yeah, we go out and we're doing our thing, but I'm not in top running condition. I'm in a little bit less than top running condition. So we're trying to get our shit in gear. I've been working on my new app, and now I'm actually editing our documentary. So bags under eyes, right? So I can't wait to get the documentary done so I can get it out and get back to running. We'd be running a Memorial Day sale on Super Living. Well, you know what? I hadn't even thought about it, Rico, but you just planted the old seed of Ruski. So maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Stein, what's going on, Stein? Thanks for joining in. Do you plan to start up a Massive Iron gym? You know, I've joked with Fazlifts that if I move to Ireland or UK or Scotland, that we could kind of live on adjacent properties with enough land so I don't have to see his ugly face and he doesn't have to see my ugly face, right? And then we could put a gym in the middle. But I don't know. It would, you know, I've been thinking about like for me, I do client work all day, right? So I'm just at a computer. And running a gym, I could still do my client work and then deal with, you know, all the other stuff. Like, hey, buddy, put your weights away, right? All that kind of stuff on the periphery. So I could kind of do both. But I don't know, man. It might be a fun little idea. I just would have to find the right space, and it could be a good retirement. I'd be like the angry, you know, old, big, hairy, ugly dude. Hey, asshole. Put away your weights. And then I could just have fun kicking people out of the gym for being assholes, right? Unless you're a power lifter, Olympic lifter, when it comes to lower high bar squats, shouldn't you get in a position you can comfortably get in? Yeah, I mean, look, teaching the squat, it really comes down to, you know, I like to start people on high bar just as a grounding point. And then kind of see where they are on high bar, check their limb lengths and their leverages and their form. And you kind of got to dial in their confidence a little bit, see how they're doing, how they are confident under the bar, how they are with the lift. And then you kind of make adjustments from there. So I like to start at high bar, and then we move around if we need to. So squatting is probably the most challenging lift to teach, because there's so many small little changes, and then you're dealing a lot with confidence more than you are with deadlifts, because on deadlifts you just have to pick a bar off the ground, right? On squats, you got a weight on your back and you got your knees. Where do my knees go? And you kind of want to push your knees in to kind of brace and kind of create this spring action, which is the wrong thing to do. You know, the biggest thing on squats is teaching people to keep their knees open. So, when you said when it comes to lifting, shouldn't you just get in a position? I don't know. I like to start people on high bar. Let's get them comfortable. Low bar has a tendency to fold you more. So let's see how you do in high bar and how your confidence is before we move you to low bar. Woodulus from Scotlandio. What's the biggest water bottle you've seen in the gym? Man, Tiger Fitness in the day had one like this big, and it wasn't a milk jug, right? It actually had a handle, and it looked like a gallon and a half. It was just this huge thing. And I'm thinking, self, have you ever needed to drink that much water in the middle of a workout? I'm sure I've drank a lot of water, on hot days when I was a machinist. But I can't recall ever drinking like something twice the size of my head during a workout. I'd probably be doing 20 reps of PP, 20 reps of PP. You know what I'm saying? Uh, hey, Massive Gang. Thanks as always. Thanks. Thank you. I'm a little bit sleep deprived. So if my humor is like, peaking at 10, let me know. Mike, new internet topic this week seems to be the Larson press. Can you explain the real benefits? Well, I'll tell you, for those of you not familiar, the Larson press is basically benching flat backed with your legs up. And one of the issues I see with bench in general is that people try to do super setups. They're trying to like get this arch and this super tightness. And they just coil themselves into this ball of chaos. And over the course of a bench press set, it's hard to sustain that level of tightness, for multiple reps. That's a good setup for a single or a double, but it's really hard to sustain for longer reps. So I like to teach people to relax a little bit, to just kind of what I do is I just kind of pack my lats a little bit. And then when I set up on the bench, I set my back up on the, I get a good grip, and then I, get my weight on my upper back, my pack lats. And then I try to think about, I get my feet planted. And then I try to think about pushing my hips gently towards my lats. That'll help you keep a reasonable degree of tightness. And you don't have to go super tight on the bench, rep in and rep out. It's just hard it'll be harder to control that tightness than it will be to actually perform the set at to a degree. So regarding the Larson press, I think a lot of people need to relax and build strength. You can get just as long as your arms aren't flared, you can build a lot of strength looser in the bench, and that's okay. It's not going to beat you up. The thing that's really going to beat you up is just doing this arm flared stuff or the bouncing stuff or all that kind of stuff. So the Larson press is good in a sense that it can teach you to build strength a little bit more relaxed on the bench, which I think is invaluable, especially for folks that aren't going to compete. I'm not telling you to always be loosey-goosey. Do I think is it my favorite bench variation? Nah, not really. It's not magic. I'd rather see you guys just get to the point where you're benching with a little less form intensity, where you're not trying to, like curl up like a ball of tightness and maintain that for 45 seconds. Harut, what's going on, Harut? Thanks for joining in. Done deal. When does cardio affect your gains at all? We were having a discussion about conditioning on the muscle building podcast, and it's a good one with Faz Lifts and with Jeffrey Verdi Schofield and Brian Borfield and so on and so forth. And folks that don't have any degree of cardio conditioning generally struggle a bit more on lifting. So it's not really going to affect your gains. The only thing, if you're doing excessive amounts, then you have to worry about it. But, safely, as long as the truth is, as long as you're, out kicking your coverage, you're eating more than you're burning, you're going to be fine. You're going to develop good recovery capabilities and you're going to be fine. You get over the point where you're doing more than 5 hours a week, like I was with running, then, you have to be really, really careful with food, not just from undereating, but with overeating, because it's really, really easy to overeat when you're doing a lot of hours and hours of cardio. You can just be kicking ass and you're like, I want 2 beers, 3 beers and a pizza, and I burned all these calories. And it's not just me that noticed. It's Easy to gain weight doing all that activity. If you guys know Gary Robbins, the guy that is in my upcoming documentary, used to be my running coach, the guy that did the Barkley Marathons, known for the Barkley Marathons. He remarked to me once during a coaching call that he had a tendency to gain weight if he wasn't careful when he was training more, because you just become a mouth and you stop really regulating food intake, and you kind of overcompensate a little bit. But don't worry about it affecting gains. You watch that scale, you get that food going in your mouth, and you're going to be absolutely fine. Key Commander, can one tear pec? Can someone tear their pec while doing a 1 rep max on bench variation? You can tear your pec pushing your partner off you during sex. You can tear a pec doing a push-up. You can tear a pec doing anything. Usually when you tear a pec or tear a muscle, it's more random than anything. When I tore my hamstring, it was something I've done 1,000 times before, a weight I've done 1,000 times before. It can be random, or it can be encouraged by doing stupid things like jumping. If you never do 1 rep max or singles or doubles, and then you just jump up in intensity by 20 to 25% without some conditioning of the tendons and connective tissue and whatnot, you can certainly encourage a tear. LKJ at 2. How to make push-ups emphasize upper check, upper check, please. Upper chest, other than raising feet and using a closer grip. Well, putting your feet on a bench is kind of creating an incline press. So I guess the question is, is that not working for you? That would be the best option. So that would be, I don't know. Beyond that, I really don't know what to say. You don't really want to you could do arms flared, but you don't want to go super deep. Like a guillotine press. I've done a lot of guillotine presses over the years, and people fear that exercise, but you don't bring it anywhere near your Adam's apple. I'm like that far above it. I just bring it down so I get a good pec stretch, but I wouldn't say that's as good as a push-up with your feet up. Sian, I need to boost up my skinny legs to fit my wedding suit in 2 months. You got 2 months. You got 60 days, Stan. My goodness. The only thing you could do is eat and squat. Eat, squat, and poop and sleep. That's it. That's all you got to do. And 1,000 leg press reps a week or something. 1,000 leg press and lunges a week. I don't know, man. You might want to come see my wife and have her alter your pants. That might be an easier way to go, because that's not a lot of time to get it done. Paul, any plans for Memorial Weekend? My wife has a photo shoot tonight. She does a lot of modeling and photo shooting and stuff like that. And I'm going to be in office tomorrow working on the documentary and doing client work and workouts. Sunday, we are going to a car show, and I'm not a big car show guy, but we got some friends that have some cars down there. So we're going to go chill and hang out for a while, take the doggos. Stein has a great idea, massive iron gym chain. I'll work the Albuquerque chapter. Yeah, man, but unfortunately there can only be like one chapter, right? There can only be one chapter. So I've actually been trying to consider, like, moving out west has been on the possibility radar. Once I have my house paid off, I'm thinking about moving, selling it and moving, and then, we'd have a good $200,000 down payment, and it's only going to be a couple of years. So we're thinking, do we go to Scotland? Do we go to Ireland? Do we go out west, South Dakota, Wyoming? But it's also been crossing my mind. Maybe we should consider the Southwest. Haven't been there in a long time. So, Paul, you can tell me good, bad, or indifferent. ZVX. I was going to say that really quickly. ZVXC Lufty thing. What do you call that thing? I want to say a luft or something. It's some kind of. Is it a money thing? I don't know. It's some kind of thing. Realistically, how many inches of muscle tissue can a lifter gain on their calves on average after 1 to 5 years of consistent training? The first thing is, are you going to train your calves like you're going to train your chest, back, and shoulders? If you do that, you can probably gain a couple inches. You want your calves to be about the same size as your bicepticons, or not bicepticons, let's say arms, your arms. That's a better way of saying it. Done Deal 79, short and massive live on our Discord in the Ask BHUD. You want me to do a live video on, are you asking for a live video? On Discord, I wouldn't mind. We just have to work out the logistics. My only fear is, the timing. So many guys are on a different time. So I thought about just popping on at random times, but just to BS. Scruffy like a boss. I couldn't wait for this live to start. Thank you. I appreciate your support. It means a lot to me. Invisible. How much of a rep drop would you expect to have after a max safe rep set? A couple. And first off, if you do a hard set where you're doing max safe reps, you should have a drop off. If you do not have a drop off, and I'm not speaking at Invisible, I'm speaking at folks in general. If you do not have a drop off, you probably didn't push that set hard for max safe reps. So let's say you're doing bench, you got 185 on there, and you do max safe reps, and you hit 11. You're probably going to be anywhere from 7 to 9 on the second set, depending on how you're feeling that day. And there can be some variance, and then a little bit of drop off on the third. Josh Benware, best exercise to emphasize lower lats. I don't know, man. It's really the lower lats isn't, when I back train, I focus on a wide variety of exercises. So I'm not really mentally thinking on a muscle group. I have to train the lower lats and the rhomboids and the lats and the upper back and the trapezoids and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking, how can I put together a broad plan of attack of exercises I like with a wide progression window? So really my basis for a big back in general, deadlifts, dumbbell rows, barbell rows, seated cable rows, lat pull downs, pull-ups, maybe machine rows, chest supported rows, T-bar rows, so many good exercises. Make sure you are really working your lats on your lat pull downs and or pull-ups or band assisted pull-ups. Rafael de Souza. How is the new equipment coming along? Do you have a designated space for recording your videos? New equipment is coming along good. Let me see if I can get something here. Where are you at? I got a new camera that I don't have set up yet. It's a Canon, and it costs me. I don't spend a lot of money on myself, but I got a new Canon. It's did some research. It was about $900. Kick in the pouch. But I got a stand up here already for it, and I'm going to be recording videos with that. My new computer is running crazy. It's just like a gaming computer, and it's doing great. I got the new microphone, and from what I can tell, it sounds better than the old microphone, but you guys can let me know. So I'm happy with everything. I got some lighting stuff. Let me see if I can show you guys. Like, I have a light up here, and I'm still trying to dial in the lighting, because obviously on this side, you have the sun right there. So it's kind of washing out the side of my face. I'm going to show you guys something. And this is going to work better once I get my lighting dialed in. Let me find it. Hold on. We're going to look at a magic trick here. Don't go anywhere. Stay right there. All right. So you see the light behind my head, right? I'm going to have a light here, which will help. And then I'm going to have more of a darker light over here, which will balance things a little bit better. And I'm going to have two side lights with a little bit of color accent. And then this one right here, watch that thing. We're going to do some magic, okay? Hold on. See that? Now, it'll be harder to tell. but I can change the color. Red, yellow, green, blue. See, I do that. So I got like the blue accents. Ooh, there's a little pink accent. There's a little aqua. And there's a little blue. You can adjust the intensity. Goodbye, intensity. I don't know. Just kind of, working things a little bit, trying to improve things a little bit, the overall look. And it was a cheap little toy, but it's kind of fun. Stein, upright row with dumbbell instead of barbell. Is that okay? Yeah. I like to do upright rows. I like to do them upright rows. I like to do them like this. Okay. Which everybody does them like this. I get it. When I do them like this, I can feel a weird shoulder strain. So I like to do it like this and focus on driving my elbows up. It has a limited range of motion. I know, but I like to do them in a superset with lateral raises. So you can do them. You can do them the front way as well. I see some guys take them up here. If that feels natural for you, let it rip. All right, this is the last question that came in before 11. And again, if you get a question in before 11, you have a chance to win some free stuff. So this is the last chance to win. I'm only doing 6 to 7 chests a week. My diet and sleep is great, but still get bad DOMs. Am I doing something very wrong or very right? Well, it sounds like you're on the right track. I mean, DOMs don't lie, but you can kind of put the same weight on the bar, and there's a period of time where it'll always make you sore, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're maximizing hypertrophy. So you're on the right track, but scruffy like a boss, I would have to see a little bit more. All righty. Key Commander. I'm not sure if you're on Team Massive Iron because everybody's name on there is different than their name on here for the most part. So Key Commander, head over to Instagram at BenTheBarman. Email me, benthebarman@gmail.com, and I'll give you something free. Now, before we continue, thanks, Stein. Just a reminder, I will stay on as long as you guys have questions. Continue to post up your questions. I'll stay on all freaking weekend if we have to. Let's get this party started. Crack a few brewskis. Whatever. If you're 420, do your 420, whatever you want. Just post up a lot of questions. I have a new app out. And I'm adding another program this week. You can run my programs. You can run your own programs. Please check that out on my website, superlivingtoday.com. It is one of the best apps, training apps in the industry as far as metrics and analytics. And I would appreciate your support on that thing. Ivan Samunovic. Sorry, Ivan, if I botched your name. I've missed before 11 a.m. at 11:03. I'd like some free stuff to promote you. Yvonne, it's your lucky day. Head over to Instagram, @BenTheBarman. Slide in. Oh, I think somebody's here delivering something. They just rang the bell. Hold on, I got to let my wife know. All right. Let's see. Where were we? Where are we? I'll head over to Instagram, @BenTheBarman. I was going to put this up. You can slide into my DM, and I'll hook you up. All right, let's get back to comments. Where are we? David, you said H. Apparently that made me choked up. Raphael, let's all call the 1-800 number for the Monster Consumer Service and Demand. They give you a sponsorship. Amen. Like even at the gas station, they know what I go for. Like purple monsters. Red monsters disappeared. I don't know what the hell happened. They're replaced by these vile red watermelon monsters. And I have no idea. Why. Ivan Samunovic. Sorry, Ivan, just messing with you. Trying to hit every muscle group twice a week, working out 4 times a week. That sounds like a good plan. up for selling some massive caps too by chance. I have to get the embroidery right. I actually put together one initial run and with the raised embroidery patch, and they kicked it out because I need to do some refinements. I need to educate myself on embroidery a little bit better. Nicholas, can you do in-depth video on different programs? Nicholas, I love doing in-depth programs. So if you guys, I love diving into programming. So if you guys have a program you want me to do a video on, to tear apart, just let me know on Instagram at Ben the Barman or email benthebarman@gmail.com. Even if it's, an upper lower, a split, how to build a split, how to build a full body, how to build a push-pull legs, how to build a push-pull arms, legs, whatever you want. Carlton checking in from the road. Carlton's a client of mine on the road, doing his cardio on the road, doing his lifting on the road. No excuses. All right. Sinuses. Sinus break. I could mute the mic when I do that. Look. There, you couldn't hear that at all. That's the magic of modern technology. Right. High value, man. Do test boosters work? Test boosters. Let's say you're on a road and there's some potholes and some ups and downs and some gravel roads and some stuff. It can smooth out the road a little bit. There are some science that certain ingredients can smooth out the road a little bit. But, the best thing for your testosterone, look, if you guys seriously want to improve your testosterone, I would kick that stuff out I would kick it to the curb. I would kick it out the window. I would take that money and put it into Team Massive. Your testosterone will go up. I would take that money and put it in the Massive Iron app and get a Massive Iron shirt. Your testosterone would go up. But seriously, use that money for coaching or help. But if you're serious, seriously, I'm not trying to turn this into a commercial, but if you're serious about testosterone, you need to make sure you get outside every day, just a little bit, getting some sun. Go for a walk 20 minutes a day. The stress benefits or a hike will help. That'll help with testosterone. Clean up your damn diet. Anybody that's serious, I'm not saying about you, high value, man. I don't know anything about you, but anybody that's serious about improving their testosterone that doesn't clean up their diet isn't serious about improving testosterone. Let's be real here. So you guys got to make sure you get your stuff squared away. Get outside, get in some hiking, walking, get in the sun. Get to sleep at a regular time. Take care of yourself with sleep. There's 24 hours in the day. You can find 8 hours a day to get some sleep in. And clean up your diet. That's going to be the best for your hormones. Seriously. Scruffy like a boss. I'm trying to get 10 chin-ups at around 220 body weight. I can be a little bit tougher, but it can be done. Any tips I should keep in mind to achieve this goal? Probably the best thing I've seen is frequency. Do them 2-3 times a week. And usually using a block can help. Doing block or rest pause work can be a benefit as well. I have a little book over on my website, superlivingtoday.com. And you can just search the old search a Ruski button for pull-ups, and it'll give you some advice. If not, I have a video on it as well, which is free. Horned Frog, familiar with the front squat harness from Titan Fitness. Titan Fitness. Have one in my garage. It's awesome. I can't speak all of a sudden. Yeah, I know what it is, and I've not tried it. I don't really care for front squats. They're just not my favorite exercise. No disrespect meant to any of you that love front squats, but yeah, it looks like a good piece of equipment for anybody that digs the front squat. Eric McIntyre, is the Bulldozer approach an effective tool for incorporating cardiovascular conditioning? Not really. It's primarily a muscle building tool, but it can help with conditioning to a degree. You have anaerobic and you have aerobic conditioning. Aerobic conditioning is like the ground and pound, the long grind, right? Maintaining your heart rate, being able to run a longer distance, or bike or swim. That's aerobic conditioning. Anaerobic is the ability to do short bursts with intensity. So Bulldozer rest pause is great for muscle building, but I believe it would fall more into the generally anaerobic realm. Dinga Fit. How do you count accessory muscles in the sets per week? Triceps using overhead press. I don't really do that at all. In my system, I look at, what has worked for me is refining it down to how many sets do I need. For the big muscle groups, the 80%, and while you're doing your chest and your shoulder presses, you're going to hit your triceps, and then you go in and how many sets do I need for triceps after that? I kind of took things on feel, over the last 37 years, developed it on feel. So I don't really worry about, I look at the big picture, what's going to hit my triceps, or what's going to hit my shoulders the hardest, what's going to hit my back the hardest, what's going to hit my chest the hardest. And once I got all that in place and I'm hitting that hard, then when I'm done, we're looking at how much time is left in the gym and how many sets feels good on more isolation stuff to fill in the gaps, if that makes sense. Leanne, I love going to failure. It helps me mentally as well. Just know that you don't have to go to failure. You can stop short of failure. Like if you feel like you're going to fail on the next rep, but that can depend on the lift. Like barbell rows, dumbbell rows, you're going to lose speed on a rep, right? So there's really no downside going to failure. Same thing with like seated cable rows, lat pull downs, a lot of back exercises. You'll lose speed. No harm going to failure. Really, I don't find any harm going to failure on chest exercises, compound movements, isolations, maybe more so. They feel a little bit weird sometimes. That's my chair squeaking. I'm not farting in case you're keeping score at home. But just always keep it movement by movement. I meant to say the muscles are weak. Gotcha. Troy, can you please explain the difference between a stiff leg deadlift and an RDL? So an RDL, there's been variations of the stiff leg over the years. The stiff leg, generally the barbell is starting off the ground. You have knees bent just slightly, like at 15 degrees. You have your core brace, like someone's going to punch you, and you deadlift up. You keep that core tight and you deadlift up. RDL, you are in a standing position. You lower the weight down your legs while moving your butt backwards. So you're lowering the weight down your legs by pushing your butt backwards. When you push your butt backwards, you want to think like you're trying to knock something over behind you. So you have your core tight and you continue to push your butt back and move the weight down your legs until you feel like your lower back wants to break. And at that point, you drive your head up. And some people do the stiff leg deadlift variation, the bodybuilding style from the standing position. They do not focus on driving the butt back. They do not focus on keeping the bar close to their legs. They just kind of lower it and try to get a good hamstring stretch. So I hope that helps some. Zachary Barker was doing pull-ups today and got to 8, reset, and got 2 more reps. Should I count that as 10 reps? Not as a set. No, that's more rest pause. And there's nothing wrong with rest pause work. But if you're talking about a strict set, no, that's more rest pause or bulldozer work. Something it's good. It can be good for hypertrophy, but that's certainly not a set. All right, guys, we're 40 minutes in. Keep the questions coming. I'll stay on as long as you got questions. Pile them on now. And we'll keep this train rolling. Gary just got back from a 4-day vacation. I had my first workout an hour ago, and I'm significantly stronger. Added 35 pounds to my pull-ups. That's a big jump, Gary. Why are you doing that? Gary, me and you are going to go in the corner for a minute. We're going to have a talk. Like, that's too big of a jump in weight. right? That's what your muscles might be ready for it, but your connective tissue, first off, if you were able to add 35 pounds, my first question is, were you working hard previously enough? I don't know. I'm just tossing this out there for discussion. But you guys have to, excuse me, you guys have to be careful making big jumps in weight like that. You feel good, add 5 pounds, and next week add 5 pounds. Let your connective tissue acclimate. Just be careful. That's all I'm telling you, Gary. Just be careful. And it's a good accomplishment. Just be smart about it. Just be careful, Gary. Just be careful. Flip. Peter Gabriel Halverson. Low-calorie protein snack. Any tips? Low protein. Let's see. You got your Greek yogurt, which is one of my favorites. You can do a couple of Greek yogurts with frozen fruit. You can do beef jerky. There are some sliced deli meats that are real meat and not fake meat that you can do, like turkey breast. You can do, what am I thinking of? You can, what did I miss? Yogurt, beef jerky, some of the real deli meats that are real meat. There was something I was going to say, but I forgot. How could I forget? I'll remember. I'm trying to think. What do I do? Plain Greek yogurt. I do plain Greek yogurt a lot, mixed with diced tomatoes and hot sauce. And if you don't like, diced tomatoes, you could mix it with a little bit of cheese or something. They have pure protein drinks, which aren't the best, but I like them better in a protein shake because I can just have one when I want it. I don't have to spend $60 on a tub of protein. Go ahead, call Don Shipley. Why do I always get strong AF as Franco when I grow a beard? Because it's wired into our DNA. We look in the mirror and the beard's coming in. And we're staring in the mirror and we can't stop admiring ourselves. We just can't stop. The admiration is building and you see that chest start to dance, your chesticles start to dance and you're feeling sexy. And then all of a sudden you go out on the street, women are watching you, men are watching you too. Whatever the case is, I don't know. A beard, man. Beard power. I always admire the guys that can get strong without a beard. They got some genetic defect, I think, or some DNA we don't. LC, how necessary is overhead press? 158,000%. If all pressing variations hit front delts, are we better off focusing on side and rear? Yes. Don't do front delt work. There's no need. You look at the front delts of any experienced lifter and they're overdeveloped. So you 100% need overhead press for hypertrophy, barbell, dumbbell, and maybe even machine. All right, guys, we got 4 questions left. If you want to keep the train rolling, last call. Post up your questions now. Liam James, sorry, I train every set to failure. All right, thank you. I'm sorry. That was a repeat, and I didn't mean to read it again. Jamie Edgington. Sorry, I had to say that slowly to make sure I got it right. Training 3 times per week, 2 to 3 sets. I gain 1 rep per week, but when I'm training 1 time per week, 5 sets, I gain at least 4 reps in 1 week, which is gaining the most hypertrophy. So you're doing 6 to 9 sets, and you're doing 1 time per week, 5 sets. 5 sets is a little bit light. There's other factors other than just straight, rep additions, which are good. We also have to look at exercise variety, which is good for hypertrophy. We also have to look at cumulative volume, basic mechanical tension. There's other factors involved. So I would rather have you do a little bit more sets. And I'm not worried about the frequency. The frequency, you're doing 6 to 9 sets, and the other one you're doing 5 sets. 5 sets is just too light. One exercise is way too light. You need an exercise variety for really well-rounded hypertrophy. All right, Zachary Barker. Forgot to mention I'm loving the Massive Iron app and Team Massive. Thank you, Zachary. I appreciate it. All right, guys, post your questions up. We got 3 left, and I'm out of here if we don't have any more questions. Bamsey 2003. Best calf exercises, doing barbell calf raises with some machines, rotary calf, want an opinion. The best thing anybody can do, well, one of the best things anybody can do that's serious about calves is find a seated calf raise machine. If you don't have one, you can do it at home. Get a little wood block and get a barbell and a towel to put on your knees so you don't hurt your kneesy wheezies. And we're going to work the soleus a little bit. So we're going to, like the calves have a limited range of motion. So you want to kind of bring about some extra tension as far as and progressive overload. So what we want to do to work the soleus and to work our calves is do the 2 to 3 second count, rising up, pushing up, hold for 2 to 3 seconds, and then 2 to 3 seconds down. Do this for 2 to 3 sets for 10 to 12 reps twice a week as an addition to your calf training routine, and we will see some growth. And always make sure to focus on progressive overload. Kevin, thoughts on dry sauna use? If it helps you recover and get loose, go for it. I was always a big fan of hot baths. I always like when my legs were sore. I always like to get a hot bath and just relax and just let everything kind of melt. You know what I'm saying? So if it works for you, by all means, let it rip. Huge Myron's son. Have you ever gone through a period where you have dealt with negative body image? And if so, how do you deal with it? I think we all do. It's all part of living. You said, ironically, I've become more insecure the better my physique has gotten. I can't comment on that because it comes and goes for everybody, and that's something we all have to deal with. And I'm not a psychologist, but I will say, yeah, we all go through it. We all have negative. It's just part of being alive. We're constantly assessing things and comparing things, and that can be a bad thing or that can be a good thing. You can use it to improve, or it can completely skew how you can skew your reality to the point where it can debilitate you. It can put you in a form of disability where you're actually more insecure and you go into hiding. So, with my clients, I give them honest assessments of their physique from a neutral point of view. We're looking at facts. We're not looking at how you feel about your physique. We have to understand there can be a way we feel about our physique, and then we have reality. What are the numbers? What is our arm size? What is our body fat percentage? And the only thing I could say is, regardless of how you feel, you need to work on the things you can control: size and fat reduction, right? And that can be taken out at a broader level, improving your general exercise, improving your hypertrophy program, improving your diet, improving your exercise form. You got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, self, I'm feeling a lot of things. I have all these feelings, self. I have all these feelings. I'm inundated with feelings. All right. You're inundated with feelings. And then you have to look at yourself in the mirror and raise that, eyebrow and say, fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. Fuck your feelings. Self, fuck your feelings. I feel fat. Fuck your feelings. I feel small. Fuck your feelings. What are you going to do about it? Focus on what you can control. You need to go up to the mirror, slap yourself in the face, and say, I have all these feelings. And then you look yourself in the eye and say, fuck your feelings. Focus on what you control. What can I do about it? There are things you can do. You can improve your body composition. You can improve your muscle mass. You can improve your exercise form. You can lose fat, right? You can improve your diet. You can do all of these things. So it's okay to have feelings, right? It's okay to have feelings, but at the end of the day, you need to be able to look in the mirror with your feelings and say fuck your feelings. All right, can we talk about metabolite training? So I was trying to get a good definition for folks because some of this stuff, this is actually on Brian Borstein's website, which I had on my pathway, or I'm reading pathway. I had my podcast. I'm trying to read a good definition of metabolic stress. So you have different pathways to muscle growth. You have mechanical tension. This is, tension applied to muscles. You have muscle damage, and you have metabolic stress. And that has been shown, Brian says that has been shown, I'm quoting him, to have some impact on muscle growth, though significantly less than mechanical tension. It's all about getting the pump, accumulating lactic acid fatigue, and that sort of thing. When I was an editor in the fitness industry, I recall there being some studies, and this is an understudied area. So let's understand that scientifically. It needs a lot more research. But back then, there was shown to be just the possibility of a minor impact on hypertrophy over the long run, over 3, 4, 5 years. That minor impact isn't really going to make it something you need. So do I like to do it's a little bit okay, yeah, at the end of your workouts, but don't make it the bread and butter. Definitely not the bread and butter. Mike, in your bulldozer sets, would you recommend doing partial reps on the last set once you've hit failure? You could. That's some big balls hardcore stuff, and yeah, you can absolutely do it. There's no real downside. Just play absolutely safe. Justin P. I got a skull crusher elbow injury. Should I just avoid this movement? Yes. That's a common thing from skull crushers. You see a lot of elbow strains and pains from skull crushers. And before I continue, guys, we have one more question. Hop on, push your questions now, or I'm going to hop off. This is a very common injury. A couple things you see, Justin, is that when people are doing skull crushers, they feel like they got to keep their elbows, together. So they force their elbows in, and that becomes like the rule, like one rule to rule them all, right? And then they only take the weight down here. So they're kind of doing this thing on skull crushers. The long head of the triceps, one of the functions is a little bit of rotate and extend. That's okay. So build a little bit of rotation into your, not just skull crushers, but you can also do it with cable tricep extensions. Also, when you're lowering the weight, don't lower it here. Lower it kind of at the top of your head and allow your elbows to open a little bit. Okay, allow them to just go in a more natural direction. So just a little bit. You don't have to go like this, right? That's silly. But allowing them to open a little bit. So you could try them like that. But honestly, if you have an exercise that bothers you, there's so many more exercises you can do. Don't stick with it. Move away from it, at least for a while, until the injury can heal. And then you can assess, was it that exercise contributing to the injury? I remove the exercise. If the injury persists, then it might not be that specific exercise. Angel Saldana, getting stronger while cutting. Does this mean I still had some muscle to be gained? No, it can happen. Yeah. Basically, the stronger you get, the harder it's going to be to gain and maintain. So it's kind of like this. There's kind of a curve. when you're starting out and you haven't gained much strength and you go on a cut, you can still gain some strength, although the curve is not going to be as steep. The stronger you are, the more likely it is you're going to lose strength during a cut. And it's very likely you're going to lose strength during a cut once you kind of reach that late beginner stage. That's just normal. So get in, get the cut over with, and get out. All right, last call for questions, guys. Skip, does lactic acid have muscle growth? We kind of just touched on that with your metabolic training. Scientifically, very minor. You can do things at the end to do burnouts and drop sets and supersets and pump sets at the end, but it should not be the meat and potatoes of your lifting. All right, guys, we are done. That's it for questions. I appreciate you joining me this week. I'm here every Friday, Massive Iron Live at 11 Eastern. And if you're tuning in late and I missed your questions, please head over to Instagram at Ben the Barman, at Ben the Barman. Slide into my DM. And if you need coaching, head over to superlivingtoday.com and sign up. I'd be glad to help you out. And we are out of here.
It's not almost over. It's not almost over. You're not almost there. You're not almost there.